Hey guys, Ivan here with the Old School Labs, and we're gonna review this Chicago Pro Open division. I have some other news for you as well, but we're gonna focus mainly on this. In my prediction video, I guessed that it's gonna be this top 4, and it turned out to be true. Of course, everybody pretty much thought that, but I had Nick actually being second. I thought Max was gonna be fourth, and that I got right. And I thought Justin and Akim are gonna switch places. I thought Justin is gonna win it. Now I see why Akim won. The size. It's pretty much the only reason. The size. He was the biggest guy right here. And I'm happy for him, for sure. I mean, I've been following him for a long time. He was always like in the top 3, top 4 in these top shows. Finally, he won, and finally he figured out the conditioning. So he brought the conditioning. It was much better than any time before. But to be honest with you, while watching this whole show, the entire time, I had Justin winning it. There were moments when I thought, well, what if Akim wins? But I was just convinced. Not because I'm biased, not because I predicted that, but because he was more conditioned. Take a look at the back shots. Take a look at this. I think what Justin brought to this stage should become a standard at the Mr. Olympia stage. Take a look at the last year's top 5. Who was as ripped as Justin here? Bonek? Was he? Hadi? Dexter? I don't think they were at this level of conditioning. I think they were a little bit smoother. Brandon and Rolly were definitely not even close to this kind of conditioning, and I think this should become the standard. But of course, I see why Akim won it, and yeah, I understand how the judging works, so I would give it to him. Just take a look at the size. Akim is a freak. Just take a look at this once again. Take a look at the size of his legs here, and the arms, and the chest, and his glutes, and his entire backside, the legs from behind and everything. This really reminds me of Ronnie, right? Does it remind you? Yeah, he got the conditioning right this time around, and so he looks kind of like Ronnie Coleman. So, yeah, I see why he won it. I am not complaining. I'm not saying that Justin got robbed, but I'm saying that Justin brought crazy level of conditioning, and I feel like it should be rewarded. Yeah, second place at this kind of show with this kind of lineup. It was like a really good lineup this time around. Everybody was on, really. Like Justin was on, Akim was really on, Nick was on, Maxx Charles, who we're going to talk about, was also on, and the top 6 was really good. You had that guy Ann Wynn, whatever his last name is, and the guy Eddie Bracamontes. So very good top 6. Everybody was on pretty much. The lighting was really good at this show, and it was just a really good show. But I'm just really sorry that Justin didn't win it, even though he did not deserve it. Akim was better, but it sucks that somebody worked so hard to get so freaking conditioned. Take a look at this chest and this entire physique. The body fat percent with this kind of mass, it's absolutely crazy. But you know, it happens from time to time. Bodybuilders just give it like all they got, and somebody better shows up. So, you know, it is what it is. But this is the standard that we need to set up for Mr. Olympia. We need to have this kind of conditioning every time. I don't know if it's going to happen. Is it possible to happen? But we shouldn't settle for anything less. Could you imagine Brandon Curry coming with this kind of conditioning? What would that look like? Would he be smaller, much smaller, too small, and not full enough to win? Or would he still win and impress us way more? Because that's what impresses people. Conditioning with mass, of course. This is what I was blown away with. I really thought he's gonna win it. I really did. I was just blown away with this conditioning. It blinded me in a sense, so I didn't even pay attention to the other guys. Sometimes I thought, well, maybe Akim is gonna win it because he's bigger, but no, come on, this conditioning, this must be rewarded, right? But then we go back to 212 when I talked about the conditioning not being the most important factor. And it's not in bodybuilding. Mass and fullness and roundness, that's a big factor. That's why Keon won yesterday, and that's why Akim won today. Here is Nick Walker, who, I mean, yeah, we may have hyped him up a little bit too much, thinking that he's going to win the show, and it wasn't far away from that. But it's the structure, I think, that hurt him the most. He was big in condition, but there are some things about the structure that did hurt him, like length of his limbs compared to the size of his torso and the waist and that kind of stuff. So basically the structure, I don't want to go too deep into that. Here you can see why Akim won. I mean, he dwarfed the other guys pretty much, which is insane to think about because the other guys are all freaks. They're all really big. But Akim Akim is one of the biggest guys today in modern bodybuilding, for sure. One of the biggest freaks. And finally, he figured it out. He figured out the conditioning. Here you can see Maxx Charles, who definitely brought the conditioning, but he brings it every time. The reason why he doesn't place it so high is the legs. So here you can see it standing next to Nick. He doesn't have that big of a thigh, right? The quads are not very big. But his structure is way better than Nick's. He has better V taper, his quad to waist ratio, the shoulders and everything, just much better. I think he basically was a different league compared to Nick. So yeah, Nick blew us all away. I don't know when it happened before that somebody took their pro card and a month later in a pro debut took 4th place in this kind of level of competition, this kind of deep and high quality lineup. So an amazing feat for sure, but it's still not good enough to beat some of these veterans. The guys who have been in a game for a long time, like Maxx Charles, like Akim Williams, like Justin Rodriguez. But take a look at his back shot. It's absolutely outstanding. And just imagine how will it look after another year of training and focusing on improving. This was the moment. Once again, Akim Williams won the show. He deserved it. You can see it right here, how bad he wanted it. You've been watching him taking that 3rd spot, 4th spot, top 3, top 4, top 5. But finally he figured out. He figured out his conditioning game and he brought the level of shape that he was supposed to. And he won. Pro show. And that's how he qualified for Mr. Olympia this time, not by points. Me, personally, I really thought Justin is gonna win it, but I see why he didn't do it. Although he looked absolutely freaking shredded to the bone. Nick really blew us away for his pro debut once again, looked absolutely outstanding. Max lived up to his standard, he came conditioned, really conditioned, and that's that face. If we talk about that face, that's a good one. Alright, so that's gonna do it about the Chicago Pro. I also noticed this post from Big Ramy. In his original post, he says, back on track. So what does that mean? Is he back on track on dieting for a show, or just on, I don't know, improving, like growing, or just making his muscle more matured? Whatever progress means for Big Ramy at this point. I don't think he can really progress much. He can just come conditioned, and that's it. Or not come conditioned. But you know what I'm thinking. You know what's my theory behind Big Ramy and the whole thing with Corona testing positive. Apparently, yeah, he doesn't look sick. But he was probably quarantined for a while. I don't know. Maybe not. Why is he in the gym already? Anyways, doesn't matter. I think him and his coach, they both decided, Chad Nichols, of course, to fake that kind of that test and hope that Mr. Olympia will invite him, give him a special invite, which he absolutely deserves, and I think they definitely should do it. No matter if they did this on purpose or if he actually tested positive and really wasn't able to compete and qualify that way. But I think he should be there. I think he should be with the top guys. I think he would make the Mr. Olympia show much better. I think he deserves a special invite because he's a star. That he is. He's one of the biggest bodybuilders ever and one of the most successful ones. I mean, sure, he took second at the Mr. Olympia stage when the lineup was really good. So I think, once again, that he should be there. So this is him right now. His back looks, I don't know, how do I put this? It looks freaking insane. Look at the amount of muscle that he has on it. Imagine if he comes in Justin Rodriguez shape. Imagine that. That would be the best physique ever in bodybuilding, probably. Anyways, here you can see that the admin of this page, Buys and Tries, wrote this caption, and I checked it on some other sources. Basically, yeah, it's accurate. Maxx Charles has 16 points, so he's leading. Justin Rodriguez has 14 points, so it seems like Justin is gonna go still, and I think he absolutely deserves it. And Regan has 12, so that's the top 3. That's the top 3, and those 3 guys are probably gonna go at the Mr. Olympia if everything goes well. I mean, Max is in the United States, Justin too, I think. Regan is in Canada, but there is enough time. He can do it as well. Big Ramy has 9 points. So he's the next guy. Only 3 points are separating him and Regan. So I don't think there is a way of Mr. Olympia not inviting him. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that he will receive that special invite. And he looks in good shape. He looks in great shape. And there is enough time. There is 8 weeks to get in contest, shredded, peeled kind of conditioning. And I'm sure he was going to do it. Of course, if they give him that in white sometime soon, because it's really hard to prep for something that you're not sure if it's going to happen. Like, that really sucks. As most of you guys, I hope, know already, I'm a competitor myself. And if somebody offered me like $1 billion to prep the way I was prepping for my last prep, there is no way I would do it. No way I could go through that kind of pain and suffering for any kind of money or anything. The only way I'm going to do it is if I'm motivated, if I know I'm going to compete at a show that I want to win. That's the only way. And if I'm not sure the show is going to happen, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I was invited actually to go to represent my country at the World's Championships in bodybuilding. That's IBB. It's not NPC. And I refused because I can't compete if I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to travel. And most likely we're not going to be able to travel to Spain. So I gave up on it. I decided to start my off season because I can't do it if I'm not sure. It's just impossible. So I hope Mr. Olympia will invite Big Ramy soon so he can start his prep right now and come super conditioned at the Mr. Olympia stage. And talking about Mr. Olympia, I just wanted to share this photo with you. It's from 2014, the Dragon Slayer, which is Flex's gym, just posted it on IG, and I was just blown away. And I just felt really sorry and sad that you're not going to see Flex at the Mr. Olympia stage. It really sucks. It really takes away from excitement. But it's still going to be an amazing lineup for sure. But again, it sucks. It would be really good to see Flex against the other guys. Take a look at him. He looks like a beast. Anyways, once again, guys, Akim Williams won the show. Justin Rodriguez was second. It was really close, if you ask me. The conditioning was on Justin's side, but the size was on Akim's. Me, personally, I had Justin winning it throughout the entire show. But now, when it's over, I see why Akim won. I think it was a good decision by the judges. I don't think anybody got robbed. But it's just what I preferred, what I liked the most, and what I was more impressed with. And that's the conditioning, the insane level of conditioning that Justin brought, and what I think should be a standard in bodybuilding in these top pro shows, especially Mr. Olympia, guys. Come on. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.